Welcome back. Today we are diving into essential concepts in economics, gains from trade. Have you ever wondered why countries, companies, or even individuals trade with one another? The answer lies in the mutual benefits that trade creates. When two parties exchange goods or services, they can both end up better off than if they try to produce everything on their own. We will explore how this happens, looking at key ideas like comparative advantage, opportunity cost, and specialization. By the end, you will see why trade can be a win-win for everyone involved, increasing overall efficiency, access to goods, and even wills. So, let's get into and discover why trade isn't just about exchanging goods, it's about creating value for everyone. Gains for trade. The gains for trade refer to benefits that individuals or countries receive when they engage in exchange with one another. By specializing in production of goods and services in which they have a comparative advantage, parties can trade and obtain goods at a lower opportunity cost than if they produce everything on their own. We can break down the concepts of gains from trade from the three different parts: specialization, comparative advantage, and mutual benefits. Finally, expanded choices. So in this four different conceptual structure to define the gains from trade, we want to start the first one, specialization. When individuals or countries focus on producing a limited range of goods where they hold an advantage, they can produce more efficiently, and this leads to an overall increase in production. Comparative advantage. The second structure. The comparative advantage principle suggests that even if one party is less efficient in producing all goods, there will still be a good in which they have a lower opportunity cost compared to another party. By focusing on these goods, both parties can benefit from trade. Number 3 is mutual benefits. Through trade, each party can obtain goods they desire at a lower cost than if they had produced everything themselves. This mutual benefits enhances overall economic welfare and allows for increased consumption of the variety of goods. And finally, number 4, expanded choices. Trade provides access to greater variety of goods and services than would be available through self-sufficiencies, leading to improved living standards and quality of life. Overall, the gains from trade illustrate how cooperation and exchange can lead to a more efficient allocation of resources benefits all parties involved. Comparative advantage and absolute advantage. In economics, the concepts of comparative advantage and absolute advantage helps us understand how individuals and countries can benefit from specializing in different activities. Let's start from comparative advantage. In comparative advantage, a person has a comparative advantage in an activity if they can perform that activity at a lower opportunity cost than anyone else. This means they sacrifice less in terms of other goods and services when they engage in that activity. It focuses on efficiency and trade-offs, allowing for mutual gains from trade. Absolute advantage. In contrast, a person has an absolute advantage if they are more productive than others in producing a good or service. This involves comparing the actual outputs or productivity levels of different individuals or entities. So let's look at the Joes and Lees to operate smoothie bars in our example. But before that, a summary of comparative advantage and absolute advantage. A person has a comparative advantage in activity if that person can perform the activity at a lower opportunity cost than anyone else. Second, a person has an absolute advantage if that person is more productive than others. So absolute advantage involves comparing productivity, while comparative advantage involves comparing opportunity cost. Let's look with togethers or example. Liz and Joe's have a smoothie bars, and we want to start our example with smoothie bars of Joe. So let's analyze Joe's production capability at his smoothie bar to understand his opportunity costs and production efficiency. So production efficiency, opportunity cost, and time allocation are three different aspects that we want to analyze with together in Joe's smoothie bars. First, production capacity. In 1 hour, Joe can produce 6 smoothies and 30 salads. Opportunity cost. Second aspects of this example for Joe smoothie bar. Joe opportunity cost of producing one smoothie is 5 salad. This means that for every smoothie he decides to make, he has to give up the opportunity to make 5 salads. Conversely, his opportunity cost of producing one salad is 1 divided by 5 smoothies. This indicates that for each salad he makes, he sacrifices only a fraction of a smoothie. And aspect number 3, time allocation. Joe spends his time as follows: 10 minutes making salads and 15 minutes making smoothies. Giving this time's allocation, in 1 hour, Joe managed to produce 5 smoothies, taking 15 minutes, and 5 salads, taking just 10 minutes. In summary, by producing both smoothies and salads, Joe demonstrated how he balanced his resources and time. Although he can produce a maximum of 6 smoothies or 30 salads per hour, his current output of 5 smoothies and 5 salads reflect his strategy of using his time efficiently. While considering his opportunity costs, understanding these principles helps Joe optimize his production and make informed decisions about how to allocate his resources effectively. Next part of example is about Lee's Smoothies Bar. Let's analyze it together the Lee's Smoothies Bar condition from the 3 different aspects. First, production capacity. Second, opportunity cost. And third, time allocation. Production capacity. In 1 hour, Lee's can produce 30 smoothies and 30 salads. This is production capacity. 30 smoothies and 30 salad for Lee's Smoothies Bar. Second, opportunity cost. Lee's opportunity cost of producing one smoothie is 1 salad. This means that for every smoothie she decides to make, she gives up this opportunity to make 1 salad. Conversely, her opportunity cost of producing 1 salad is just 1 smoothie, indicating that for each salad she makes, she sacrifices this chance to make 1 smoothie. But time allocations. Given her customer base, Liz has chosen to produce 15 smoothies and 15 salad in an hour. Generally, by producing both smoothies and salad in equal numbers, Liz optimizes her output based on customer preferences. Also, she can produce a maximum of 30 smoothies or 30 salads in an hour. Her current output of 15 smoothies and 15 salads ensure that she meets customer demand while considering her opportunity costs. This balance allows her to utilize her resources efficiently, catering to her customers' tastes, and while maintaining the profitability as well. So let's comparative analysis with Joe. While Joe opportunity costs, until this moment, from the passport, smoothies is higher. From the passport, we know that the Joe opportunity cost was 5 salad per smoothies. Liz is much lower because she had 1 salad per smoothie. Joe and Liz can benefit from trade by specialization in their respective strengths. Joe should focus more on salads, where he produces at a lower opportunity cost, while Liz can focus on smoothies by trading their products. Both can enjoy a greater variety of smoothies and salads than if they try to produce everything by themselves. Okay, figure 5 shows the production possibility frontier, or PPF. In the part A, Joe's opportunity cost of smoothies is 5 salad, and Joe's produce at the point A on his PPF. So in the part A, it's for Joe's, and opportunity cost of producing smoothies is 5 salad here. So Joe produced at the point A on his PPF. So in figure 5, we can visualize, as you can see, the production possibility frontiers for both Joe and Liz, which illustrate their respective production capacities and opportunity costs. Let's start with part A for Joe Smoothie Bar. The production possibility frontier for Joe shows the maximum combination of smoothies and salads that Joe can produce in 1 hour. Opportunity cost. In terms of opportunity cost, at point A on Joe's PPF, Joe's opportunity cost of producing 1 smoothie is 5 salad. This means that for every smoothies he produces, he gives up the chance to make 5 salad. At point A, as a production point, Joe is likely to producing a specific combination of smoothies and salads that reflects his time allocation. For instance, if he is producing 5 smoothies and 5 salads, he is efficiently using his resources while also considering the trade-offs involved. So in summary, point A on Joe's PPF demonstrates his production choices and highlights the trade-offs he faces when allocating resources between smoothies and salads. The steep slope of the PPF reflects the high opportunity cost of smoothies relative to salads, emphasizing the importance of understanding opportunity costs in making production decisions. Part B. Let's look at the part B to Liz opportunity cost part. So Liz opportunity cost of smoothies is 1 salads, and Liz produce at the point A on her PPF here. So Liz decide to produce here, and opportunity cost of smoothies is 1 salad in part B. So Liz PPF curve here, Liz PPF curve here, represent the maximum combinations of smoothies and salad that Liz can produce in 1 hour. At point A, where I highlighted, on Liz PPF, Liz opportunity cost of producing 1 smoothie is 1 salad. And this means that for each smoothie she decides to make, she forgoes the opportunity to make 1 salad. Production point. At point A, that is production point, Liz is likely to producing balanced quantity of smoothies and salads. For example, she might be producing 5 smoothies and 15 salad. She might be producing 15 smoothies and 15 salads, maximizing her efficiency while meeting customer preferences. In summary, point A on Liz PPF illustrates his illustrate her production choices and the trade-off she encountered when allocating her resources between smoothies and salads. And the relatively flat stop of her PPF reflect the power opportunity cost of smoothies compared to Joe, emphasizing that Liz can shift production with less sacrifice. So as you can see, the opportunity cost that show through the PPF curves have a more flat condition in compare with Joe that has more steep conditions, as you can see here. This means that in the more flat PPF curves, they can shift the production with less sacrifice of other productions option. So let's look and review it together, Joe comparative advantage with together. In terms of opportunity cost, for Joe, the opportunity cost of production one salad is 1 divided by 5 smoothie. This means that for every salad he produces, he only gives up the chance to make 1 divided by 5 of a smoothie. Liz's opportunity cost. In contrast, Liz's opportunity cost of producing one salad is 1 smoothie. For every salad she decides to make, she sacrifices the opportunity to make a whole smoothie. In terms of comparative advantage, let's compare it together in terms of comparative advantage. Since your opportunity cost of producing a salad is 1 divided by 5 smoothie, and it is less than Liz's opportunity cost that was 1 smoothie, Joe has a comparative advantage in producing salads. This implies that Joe should specialize in making salad as he can produce them more efficiently compared to Liz by focusing on what he does best. Joe can trade his salad for a smoothie from Liz, allowing both of them to enjoy greater variety of goods than if they each try to produce everything on their own. So let's look with together the Liz comparative advantage summing up. In terms of opportunity cost, for Liz, the opportunity cost of producing 1 smoothie is 1 salad, and this means that for every smoothie she chooses to make, she sacrifices the opportunity to produce 1 salad. Joe's opportunity cost, in comparison, Joe's opportunity cost of producing 1 smoothie is 5 salad. This means that for every smoothie he produces, he gives up the chance to make 5 salads. In terms of comparative advantage, since Li's opportunity cost of producing a smoothie is 1 salad and it is less than Joe's opportunity cost that was 5 salad, Liz has a comparative advantage in producing smoothies. This implies that Liz should specialize in making smoothies because she can produce them more efficiently compared to Joe. By focusing on her comparative advantage, Liz can trade her smoothies for salads for Joe, allowing both of them to maximize their production and enjoy a wider variety of goods. 2. To summing up, Liz's comparative advantage in smoothie production underscored the significance of opportunity cost in economic decision making, and understanding these costs enable both Liz and Joe to collaborate effectively, enhancing their productivity through specializations and trade. So, let's look with together achieving the gains from the trade in this case and explore how Liz and Joe can achieve gains from trade by specializing in goods where they have a comparative advantage. We want to consider is in the 2 different terms, specialization and gain from trade. Start with the specialization for Liz production. Liz specialized in smoothies and producing 30 smoothies and 0 salad. This allows her to maximize her output of smoothies. as she can focus entirely on the product without diverting resources to salad production. But about the Joe production. Meanwhile, Joe specializes in salads, producing 30 salads and 0 smoothies. By concentrating on salads, he can utilize his resources more efficiently, maximizing his output in this area. Gain from trade. By each focusing on what they do best or specialized, Liz with smoothies and Joe with salads, Boss Liz and Joe can produce more of their respective goods than if they tried to make both. This specialization leads to an increase in total productions. Trading for mutual benefits. Once Liz and Joe produce their goods, they can trade with each other. For instance, if Liz trades some of her smoothies to Joe for his salads, Boss can enjoy a greater variety of goods than if they tried to produce everything by themselves. By specializations and trading, they can achieve higher overall satisfactions instead of Boss producing a mix of smoothies and salads and potentially ending up with less of Boss. They now have more of each good available through trades. So overall, the concepts of gains from trade illustrate how specialization based on comparative advantage leads to increased production efficiency and benefits for both parties. Liz and Joe can enjoy a greater variety of goods and higher overall satisfaction by working together and trading their specialized output. Let's break down the trading scenario between Liz and Joe, focusing on how they benefit from the exchange their specialized goods. From the trade, Liz sells Joe 10 smoothies and in turn buys 20 salads from him. Joe sells Liz 20 salads in turn and buys 10 smoothies from her. What happened to the production condition after this trade? Liz final goods. After the trade, Liz has 20 smoothies, originally 30. Sold 10, so she has 20 smoothies. And after that, she has 20 salad as well. Originally, Liz had 0 salads. She bought 20 salads and now she had 20 salads as well. Look at to the Joe final goods. After the trade, Joe has 10 smoothies. That was originally 0. He bought 10 and he has 10 smoothies right now. And also, he had 10 salads. That was originally 30. He sold 20 from 30, so he had 10 salads right now. Let's analyze it together. Gain from trade for both sides, Liz and Joe. Benefits from the trade for Liz. Before trade, Liz only had smoothies. After trading, she now has a balanced quantity of both smoothies and salads, which increase her overall satisfaction. But what is the benefits for Joe? Similarly, Joe, who initially only produced salads, now has smoothies as well, enriching his diet and allowing him to enjoy both products. Overall, through this trade, both Joe and Liz have improved their situations. They have not only increased the quantity of goods they possess, but also diversified their consumption. By specializing and trading, they have effectively turned their comparative advantage into tangible benefits, illustrating the power of trade in enhancing economic well-being. So, Figure 6 shows the gain from the trades. We want to show everything that we was showed in the table now in the figure. So Joe opportunity cost of producing a salad is less than Lee's, and Joe has a comparative advantage in producing salad. So we want to explore how Joe and Lee's trade illustrate in figure 6, highlighting the concept of comparative advantage. So Joe comparative advantage. If we want to start with Joe comparative advantage in figure A here, Joe opportunity cost of producing a salad is lower than Lee's. Specifically for every salad Joe makes, he gives off fewer smoothies compared to Lee's. This gives him a comparative advantage in salad productions. What about Lee's opportunity cost? Here. Conversely, Lee's has a higher opportunity cost for producing salads, meaning she sacrifices more smoothies for each salad she produces. Therefore, she has a comparative advantage in producing smoothies. What is the gain condition from this trade? Figure 6 illustrates the gains from the trade by showing the production possibility of both Joe and Lee's. And the diagram highlights how, by specializing in their respective comparative advantage, both can trade to achieve a more efficient allocation of resources. Before trade, they engage in trade. Joe and Lee's each produce a mix of smoothies and salads, and their combined output is limited by their individual opportunity costs. But after specializing, Joe producing only salads and Lee's producing only smoothies, they increase their total output significantly. And this increased production means there is more of both goods available to trade. After the trade takes place or post-trade benefits phase, Joe has more salads than he would have produced on his own, while still enjoying some smoothies thanks to Lee's. And Lee's gains a balanced diet, enjoying both smoothies and salads without sacrificing too much of either good. Overall, the insight from figure 6 clearly illustrates the power of comparative advantage and trade. By recognizing and acting on their strengths, Joe and Lee's enhance the overall welfare, and this example is severe as a fundamental principle in economics, showing how cooperation can lead to greater benefits for all parties involved. So Lee's opportunity cost of producing smoothies is less than Joe, so Lee's has a comparative advantage in producing smoothies. Joe specializes in producing salad, and he producing 30 salads an hour at point B here, and his PPF, as you can see. Lee's specializes in producing smoothies, and she produces 30 smoothies an hour at point B, as you can see here on her PPF. So they trade salads for smoothies along the red trade lines. Here, this is lines, trade line for both of them, Joe and Lee's. B is Lee's and A is Joe. So on the trade line, the prices of a salad is 2 smoothies, or the prices of a smoothies is half of a salad. We want to explore in this part the trade dynamics between Lee's and Joe's, focusing on how trade exchange their specialized goods along the trade line. So the red line or trade line here represent the terms of trade between Lee's and Joe, and this line illustrates the exchange rate at which they can trade their goods, smoothies and salads. In terms of price of goods, on this trade line, the prices of one salad is set at 2 smoothies, and conversely, the prices of 1 smoothie is equivalent half of the salad. But what is the implication of the trade line? The trade line have a two important implication here. First, mutual benefits. Second, opportunity cost. What is the mean by mutual benefits here in the trade line? The trade line allows both Liz and Joe to benefit from each other's specialization. By trading, along these lines, they can obtain more goods than they would be able to produce on their own. What about opportunity cost? The pricing reflects their opportunity cost. For Liz, giving up the smoothies to get salads makes sense when the price is favorable. Similarly, Joe finds it beneficial to exchange his salads for smoothies at the established rate. So overall, the trade line symbolizes a fair exchange between Liz and Joe, showcasing how they leverage their comparative advantage. By trading salads for smoothies at the specified rate, both benefits and increase their overall satisfaction with the goods they consume. Joe buys the smoothies from Liz and moves to point C, a point outside the PPF. Liz buys salads from the Joe and moves to point CA, that is point outside this PPF. So in fact, we want to understand the moving beyond the production possibility frontiers, because we are here beyond the original production possibility frontiers. We passed the PPF. So we want to discuss how Liz and Joe can effectively move to point C, that is positioned outside the individual production possibility frontiers. In fact, they do that by trade. But what is point C is important, because point C represents a situation where both Liz and Joe can consume more goods than they could produce alone, which is not achievable without trade. This point lies outside their respective PPFs and signifying an increase in overall consumption possibilities. So Joe moved to point C after purchasing smoothies from Liz. Joe shifts from his original production capacity to point C, and this means that he now enjoying more smoothies than he could have produced on his own. By trading salads for smoothies, Joe benefits from Liz's comparative advantage in smoothies productions. Liz moved to point C here as well. And this movement enables her to consume more salad than she could produce herself. Through this exchange, she takes advantage of Joe's efficiency in salad productions. So, the gain for trades shows that by trading, both Joe's and Liz can enjoy combination of goods that would otherwise be unattainable. The Liz and Joe economy and its PPF. We know that with specialization and trade, both Liz and Joe get outside of the PPF until this moment. If Liz and Joe are the only producer in the economy, the question is that, what does the economy's PPF look like? And we see that in the figure 2.7 on the next slide to show the construction of economy PPF. Let's look to the next part with together. If boss produce only salad, the economy produce 60 salad at the point A here. If the economy starts to produce smoothies, Liz has a comparative advantage in smoothies and produce the first 30 smoothies at the cost of one salad per smoothies. At the point B here, Liz produced 30 smoothies and Joe. So look a bit together at the point A, where all salad production in fact in the economy. If Boss and Liz at the point A here dedicate all their resources to producing only salad, the economy reaches a total production of 60 salad. This scenario is illustrated as point A on the economy PPF. Here, both producers maximize their output of salads without allocating any resources to smoothies. So transitions to smoothie productions when we want to have some smoothies as well. By beginning smoothie productions, Liz take the lead due to her comparative advantage in smoothies. So Liz produced her first 30 smoothies with an opportunity cost of one salad per smoothies, and this means that for every smoothies Liz make, she sacrificed the production of one salad. In fact, point B shows us where we have mixed productions, where Liz is producing 30 smoothies and Joe is reproducing also remaining 30 salads. 30 salads, 30 smoothies at the point B. And this combination reflects a trade-offs where Liz's specialization in smoothies allows the economy to benefit from her efficiency while Joe continues to contribute by producing salads. The economy therefore operates at this point allowing the PPF, showcasing an efficient allocating of resources where both goods are produced. In summary, point A represents a scenario of maximum salad productions, while point B illustrates the benefits of trade and specialization. As Liz and Joe adjusted productions toward their comparative advantage, the economy can produce a more diverse set of goods efficiently and leading to higher overall production and potential gains from the trade. Now, let's discuss how Liz and Joe economy can expand its production capabilities, particularly focusing on smoothies and the role of Joe in this process. So, transition to producing more smoothies. Joe's role in smoothie productions is to produce more than 30 smoothies. Joe needs to reduce his salad productions and start producing smoothies himself. This decision is very important as it allows the economy to tap into Joe's potential contribution in a smoothie production. So what is the opportunity cost for Joe to producing smoothies? Joe's opportunity cost for producing one smoothies is 5 salad, and this means that for every smoothies he chooses to make, he must forego the production of 5 salads. And this high opportunity cost reflects Joe's comparative disadvantage in smoothies production compared to Liz, who produces smoothies more efficiently. At the point C, where we have maximum smoothies productions. So if Joe dedicates all these resources to make smoothies, the economy operates at point C on the PPF. At this point, the economy can produce a maximum number of smoothies, but it comes at the cost of reducing salad productions. So the PPF for Liz and Joe economy is represented by outward kinked curve, indicating that opportunity cost of producing additional smoothies increase as more resources are shifted away from salad to productions from point B to C. So when both Liz and Joe specialize, they produce efficiently at point B on the economy. At point B, consider some space here on the economy's PPF. At all other points on the economy PPF, one person specialized and production is efficient, and production at any point of PPF is efficient. So in this part, we want to discuss with together efficiency in the Lee's and Joe economy. That is important to understand how specialization impacts overall production and resources utilization. So look at the specialization condition at point B here, that both specialize Lee's in smoothies and Joe in salads. When both Lee's and Joe specialize in their respective comparative advantages, they achieve efficient production at point B on the economy's PPF. At this point, Lee's focuses solely on producing smoothies, while Joe specializes in salads. Their combined efforts maximize the total output of both goods. So efficiency on PPF. Production at any point along the economy's PPF represent efficient use of resources from the A to C. This is economic PPF. This means that our resources are fully utilized and it is not possible to produce more of one goods without sacrificing some quantity of the other goods. Efficiency is achieved as long as the production is aligned with PPF and reflecting the optimal allocation of resources based on the comparative advantage. Finally, with no specialization, Joe and Lee's produce at the point inside the economy's PPF, where we don't like it. At the production at the point D is inefficient here when there is no specializations. So when Joe and Lee's don't specialize in their respective comparative advantages, they end up producing at the point inside the economy's PPF, such as point D. So inefficiency at point D shows the production at point D. In fact, at point D, Joe and Lee's are producing a combination of salad and smoothies that doesn't maximize their potential output. This point reflects an inefficient use of resources. For example, Joe might be producing some smoothies despite having a comparative advantage in salads, while Lee's might be making salad instead of focusing on smoothies. As a result, they are not leveraging their strengths effectively. So what is the opportunities for improvements right now? Production at point D indicates that resources are either underutilized or misallocated, and there is a room to improve overall output without increasing total resources usage. Both Joe and Lee's could benefit from reallocating their times and resources according to their comparative advantage by specializing. Joe focusing solely on salads and Lee's solely on smoothies. They can produce more of each goods and move towards the PPF. But we need to transition to efficiency to move from point D to an efficient point on PPF, like point B, because the point B exactly is on the PPF line. Joe and Lee's would need to communicate and potentially agree on a system of specialization. This transition would not only increase the total output of salads and smoothies, but would also allow for trading to maximize their individual consumptions and reflecting the gains from trade. So what is the implications of inefficient productions? In fact, they have economic consequences. What is these economic consequences? Producing inside the PPF means that the economy is not operating at full potential, leading to lower overall welfare. Second, this inefficiency could also indicate broader economic issues such as a lack of coordination, or information barrier that prevent Joe and Liz from recognizing the benefits of specialization. In summary, when Joe and Liz don't specialize and instead produce at point D inside the economy's PPF, they experience inefficiency. By reallocating resources according to their comparative advantage and focusing on specializing production, they can increase total output and transition to a more efficient production point on PPF, and ultimately maximizing the benefit of their trades. Thank you for your precious conditions. Please follow the videos for the next important lecture.